This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Greystone Mansion in Greystone Park for the Theater 40 presentation of The Manor.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with...
Great, Catherine Bates. I actually wrote The Manor based on the true events that happened inside this historic landmark, Greystone Mansion, also known as the Doheny Mansion. And it is taken from the trials and tribulations, you could say, of the Doheny family. And as far as they rose in life, they fell even greater, and it's quite a dramatic story. And it has, two dramatic lines. One, we have the romantic triangle that, of course, ends in tragedy, and then we have the political scandal, which is taken from the Teapot Dome scandal, which Edward Doheny was actually involved in, one of the earliest political scandals in the United States. And so with those two dramatic lines, and the fact that we do it in this spectacular mansion, it's a living history inside the walls where the events actually happened. Oh, it's just, for me, I'm just so proud of the show. And now we're over 250 performances, and I am stepping away from the show. I have a couple more performances, and then I'm handing the role over to a lovely actress, Carol Potter. I actually play the matriarch of the family, and it's a role I've loved and coveted, but it's a time in my life where my husband and I have decided to move back to family in Northern California. So we leave it in good hands, and we hope all of your listeners will come out and see it in the future. We typically come in here in January, sometimes February. Very few times we have done summer evenings, which are spectacular, but it's whenever the mansion can accommodate us into their schedule.
Question, why did you decide to write this piece anyway?
When I first moved to Los Angeles 35 years ago, this was one of the stories I knew. I kind of enjoyed Hollywood scandal, to tell you the truth, and I found this story in some tour book. It was just a little paragraph, and so we came to see the mansion, and while we were here looking around, one of the rangers who's still here and a great fan of ours, and we love him dearly, Steve Clark, took us around and showed us in the windows, which the public could not come in here at that time, so all we could do was gaze through the windows at the murder room, at the hallway, at the fantastic ballroom, and it just really fired up my imagination. And then I was here doing a reading in the courtyard. I belong to Theater 40, a wonderful theater group, and we had a cast together. We were doing quite a fun play out in the courtyard. And the idea came up to do the real story inside here, and I thought, you know what, I can do that. I know that story, and I know the characters. I can make this into something where we can move people around and make the mansion as much a star as the story is. And so we did, and we found wonderful directors. Flora Plum has the show now, and she does a great job, and our stage manager is unbelievable, Don Solosin, and our producer, David Hunt Stafford. It's just all great. You couldn't ask for a better cast and crew, and 15 years. So what can I say? Yeah, I'm very, very proud of it.
I thought it was fantastic. First of all, I see like 120 pieces of theater every single year. I don't think I've ever seen something like this where you can actually go right into the historical background. I thought it was almost like Disneyland for adults.
So good to hear. Really, really good to hear, because I think part of the success of it, which, by the way, we don't advertise all that much. Most of it is word of mouth, which, we are very, very proud of, because, the best thing, of course, is to have your audience like what you do. But there is something that pulls you into the story. The fact that you're kind of a fly on the wall in the various rooms where these intimacies are going on, and conversations between people where you feel like they don't know an audience is there. It's just two people talking, and you are drawn into the story. And then by the end, when tragedy occurs, your heart breaks. And I think that's really the great success of this show.
I love that. I thought it was fantastic. Thank you once again for being on the show.
Thank you. Absolutely. I'm glad you made it.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine. And I'm here with
Darby Hinton. I've been doing this business now for over 57 years or something. Started when I was 6 months old. Did the Daniel Boone show for 6 years as Israel Boone. Salem Rapist for a few years, Days of Our Lives, and now I've been up here doing this play this will be our 15th year. I play Charles Doheny. Well, Charles McAllister. We kind of changed the names to protect the innocent, if there are any.
What's your take on that character? What's he like?
Oh, Doheny or McAllister?
Your character. What do you present?
A family man, a businessman. I think he really was trying to do what was best. He certainly did help by, building Pearl Harbor. He helped the country, and it was a shame that he got kind of caught up in it. Was it all above board? I'm not sure, but I think he had the best intentions.
I really love the play tonight. I thought it was fantastic. I love the acting. I love the atmosphere. This is such a beautiful place.
Oh, it's so unique to be able to present this fabulous story that's real American history in the actual building where it all took place. And that it's still here today is it's wonderful. That's what I consider the star of this play is the mansion.
Usually I don't say that about the production values, because I feel that in between acting and in between the cast and the story, that's like 90% of the show. But this I just had to say because it's such a unique environment. It's almost like a supporting character.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I agree.
Once again, I really love the performance. I thought it was very dramatic. I love the theater behind it. I love the history behind it. I just felt like I was shot back to the 1930s.
Well, I'm very glad you enjoyed it, because that's what we want to do, give everybody an experience that takes them on a ride.
Thank you once again for being on the show.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with...
I am Dan Leslie. I'm an actor in The Manor. I'm originally from Wheeling, West Virginia. I came out here to be an actor in Los Angeles in 1978, and I have worked intermittently ever since. The Manor is my longest job. I've been playing Senator Alfred Winston for 15 years. He's a typical Washington politician. He has his own set of rules, and his morality is as individual as a fingerprint. He believes that if you're doing good, it's fine for you to help yourself to whatever stray money is laying around. And that precipitates the tragedy.
I love the way you played it. Your character was so believable. He was so human. He was so three-dimensional. I thought it was fantastic.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah. I've had 15 years. I hope I have learned something in the process of doing this. So.
Once again, I loved your character. I kind of love quirky characters. I love villains. I love anti-heroes. You fit right into the bill, but at the same time, you weren't some cartoon. Once again, I thought you did it very well. Thank you once again for being on the show.
Thank you for coming to see us.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with...
I'm Caleb Slavens. I'm an actor who live here in Los Angeles. I'm Highland Park. I grew up in Oregon. Parents are dairy farmers, and acting brought me to the city. I played Gregory Pugh. He's a lower class guy who just gets caught up in a big multi-millionaire family, and he's also in love with the millionaire's new daughter, the new heiress of the family, and he just happens to get into a lot of trouble with that. So
I think of all the characters, your character did the most acting, the most range, dealt the most into their personality.
Yeah, it's definitely a really tough acting job. It requires you to hit pretty much every point in the human emotion during the production, and for that I'm eternally grateful, because this is the true type of work. This is the work you want to be doing. So
I really love the performance. I love the atmosphere around here. I love the acting. I love the characters. I love the story. It was such a wonderful piece. I felt like I was thrown back to the 30s into their lives, because their lives, you had all these gossip columns talking about, terrible things that happened. I felt like I was actually there.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And the great thing about the playwright, is it's parallel to how the actual Doheny family lived. In fact, I read the whole history of Mr. Doheny before doing the show, and you'd be surprised at how many things correlate between the Dohenys and the fictional McAllister family. But it actually makes the setting in the mansion even more honest, more true that way. So,
once again, love the performance of everyone. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Have a nice night.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with...
Sarah Vanderpool, born in Holland, moved to America when I was quite young, did a lot of theater work, got my undergrad degree in performance in London, did some work out there, and happy to be back in LA.
And which character did you play?
Henrietta. She's a lot of fun. I think people take her as the bad character, kind of like a little bit of a villain, but I think she definitely has rights to her feelings. I think she's been hard done by, for sure, by her husband and a lot of the other people around.
Characters like your characters, what I feel really make a play. I thought you were fantastic.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. It's really nice to hear.
Okay. Yeah. Once again, I love the performance. I love the atmosphere. I loved your performance because, playing that swarmy character, it's always good. Mm-hmm. Right. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. And I'm here with?
I'm Melanie McQueen, and I play Cora Winston in The Manor at Greystone Mansion. She's a very tragic character, I think. She knows that her husband is up to something and that he's got gambling issues and all that kind of stuff, but she doesn't really know everything that's going down. She loves the family, the McAllister family, and she is very horrified to find out what has happened. So.
One thing I've always liked about theater is the strong female characters, but back then in the 1930s, females weren't portrayed as a strong character, but I like the way you portrayed your character, kind of a bit of a rock.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think maybe in a different situation, she might have been able to be her own woman a little more, and since she loved politics so much, maybe she would have gone into politics herself, but I don't think she felt maybe her family background or whatever that was appropriate for her, so she married a politician instead and made that work as best she could.
Well, actually, my take from the story is he wasn't a politician until he married her. Right. She made him into the person.
Right. Yeah, no. She helped him find his way, and of course the original character, I believe that the marriage was that it was Senator Fall that it was based on, with the expression "the Fall Guy," as you may have heard. It's based on that character. They actually, their marriage was a pretty happy one. In this sort of fictionalized version, it's not that happy. So.
Once again, I love the performance. I thought everyone's acting was fantastic. I love this atmosphere. I mean, it's just almost like going to Disneyland, where you're basically in an entire environment around it, like Frontierland or something.
Yeah.
So it was almost like Disneyland for adults, but also the acting was fantastic. I just loved it, even without this wonderful atmosphere.
Oh, it's so nice to know that we weren't just the icing on the cake, but actually more of part of the experience for you. That's good to hear.
Definitely, I really recommend this. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Our pleasure.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Sean Savage. We actually met just a few weeks ago. I was doing a show at Theater 40, and I've been doing this acting here in LA for probably 12 years or so. A lot of theater. That's what I love. It's kind of my roots are in theater. I've been lucky enough to do some film and TV as well, and some commercials here and there.
And which character did you play?
Sean McAllister. He's loosely based on Ned Doheny Jr., and it's kind of that, I don't want to say classic story, but he definitely is from a privileged family, obviously, and lives a very elaborate lifestyle. But for him, I think he's kind of thought of as the all-American guy, and I think it's easy to play him as just kind of the silver spoon guy, but he's not. I think he certainly loves his wife and loves his family, and he's very grateful for what he's been given and bestowed upon, and he knows where he comes from, and he knows to keep humble about it too.
Yeah, I do remember from the last play, and that play was fantastic, where you played the Nazi.
Yes.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You when you contrast the two characters, one you're really doing serious acting where you're this villain, but the other one you're kind of playing yourself. You're kind of a leading character, but I still saw you step into it. You still brought life to it. I mean, how do you handle that? I mean, how do you handle a leading character opposed to something which is more straightforward, like a villain?
I think the most important thing is just be honest. I think you've got to be honest and play the truth of it. I think Sean is, there's a lot of growing up to do in this show. I mean, when the first, in Act 1 and Act 2, there's a separation of a good 10 or 12 years. So I think he's got to be kind of a younger, innocent self in the first act. And Act 2, he's got a lot of growing up to do, taking over the family business, and with everything that's happening in the house itself and within the family. It's kind of that classic story of taking over the family business in a way and keeping a maturity about you. I think as far as trying to contrast the two characters, it's, oh gosh, that's kind of maybe a long-winded answer, but It's always fun to play the leading guy. I mean, you're lucky, I think, to play the leading guy. Sometimes people might say the character roles are more fun, but the leading guys, I'm lucky enough to play opposite of beautiful, beautiful ladies in this show, so that's always a plus, I guess.
Once again, I love your performance. I love the performance of everything here. I highly recommend people coming here because beautiful. It's almost like being in Disneyland for adults. You know what I mean?
It is. Well, I mean, I think as beautiful as the play is and as tragic as the story is, being in the house itself is really almost half, if not 70% of the show itself. There's something very haunting and mysterious, obviously, about walking through these rooms and walking through these halls and seeing the story, even though it's loosely based, fact and fiction, really come to life. There's something about it, this being the original flooring and the original walls. I mean, geez, if walls obviously could talk. And I guess you could call it a little morbid as well. I mean, in our dressing room is where the actual murder took place. So I think we try to keep that into perspective as well.
Once again, love your performance.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thanks so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with...
Hi, this is Annalee Scott. Born and raised in Massachusetts, went to Emerson College in Boston, and shortly after graduating, moved to Los Angeles to pursue an acting career. Since then, I've taken on a number of odd jobs during the day to pay the bills, but I keep finding my way back to the theater. So Theater 40's been quite a home for me since I moved out here. I've done a few other shows with them, but the Manor was the first one that they brought me on to do. So I'm a few years in now. I love it, and every year I come back and get to see the same smiling faces and perform in this beautiful house. I play Abby, and I also play Henrietta. A little dual action there. Abby is interesting because the first act of the play takes place in the 20s. Second act is 10 years later. So I think one of the most interesting parts for me to play is how does someone age over 10 years emotionally, not only based on what they've been through, but just individually as a person, how have they grown? So I have a lot of fun playing her sort of innocence, her vulnerability, and her just charm in the first act. She's really just a lovely person, I think. I adore that character. And then in Act 2, of course, the family is befallen to a lot of drama, but she handles herself in a way that I think shows how she's aged, and emotionally and psychologically she's a different person, and I think that's a lot of fun for me to play.
I loved everyone's performance tonight. Your character compliments you on the range that you had to go through.
Thank you very much. From the bottom of my heart, that's really kind. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you once again for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with...
I'm Flora Plum. I am the director of this of the Manor here.
So, question: what drew you to this piece anyway?
Well, actually, I'm a member of Theater 40, and so I came to see the show. And then several years ago, I stepped in and played a role for I think 2 seasons. I played Cora. And so I got to know the show very well. And I'm also a professional director. So when Beverly Olivan, who originated the show, was the original director, stepped down, they asked me to come in, and I said, of course, I'd love to do it. And at that time, I think 7 of the actors were going to leave the show. And so I had to bring in 7 new actors. So it was like starting over with about half the show. All the young people, and some of them were double cast. We always have to have more than one actor because the show's so popular that if somebody's out, we can't go dark. We can't say, oh, no show tonight, the actor's not ready. So it's a big job every year to put it back together because every time we don't know who's going to be available when. And it's pretty much putting the whole thing together is very complicated, and trying to rehearse on the fly, and it's very hard. But what's amazing about it is that these actors are so first rate, so absolutely accomplished that they can do it with that little rehearsal. We have a new person coming in to replace Kathy in a few days, a new Marion, a new leading lady, and she's going to be wonderful.
I love the cast. I thought it was fantastic. To hear that you just replaced 7 of them is very interesting. I always ask this of directors, what do you look for in your casting?
Well, I look for the best actor I can find. For this, we auditioned several people, and I picked the ones, basically, who is the most accomplished actor. The person who even for the young people who haven't had that much experience, can demonstrate to me in an audition that they're capable of doing it, and if they're going to come in and replace, they're going to do it with very little rehearsal. I have a young lady that's going to play the young leading lady in this show for 4 performances later in the run, and she came in and did an audition for the role for me, and she played that bedroom scene where it's the long monologue. And she came in and played that completely off book. She held the book, but she was able to perform the scene for me, and I could see right there she would be able to open in the scene with just a certain amount of rehearsal with the other actress, and she would be able to go. And I said to her, I don't know if we're going to have performances for you this year, but I'd like to keep you with us for next year. Now it turned out that one of the actresses, she got a job out of town and she has to be gone, and so this new young actress is going to be able to start in the part, and I'm thrilled to work with her.
Once again, I loved your choice of cast. I thought they were all fantastic. I loved their acting. Also for you, compliment is I loved your blocking, because again, this isn't a stage you're doing on. This is actually a real house. Mm-hmm. You know, basically the lighting isn't perfect. You have 360 degrees. So one thing I have to really compliment you on is that your positioning of everyone.
Well, a good amount of that is Beverly Olivan, who originated the show. I mean, we might have had it be changed and tweaked a little bit. Each actor who comes in might time it differently. Basically, it's quite tricky in these rooms, especially when in the living room, to make sure that everybody gets a chance to see, because the audience is quite spread out. So it's all about sharing the performances across the room, which can be very false, but these actors are good enough to make it work, to make it, they can justify a reason, okay, now I'm walking over here, and it seems natural in the room.
Once again, I really love the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with...
And I'm Catherine Henrik, and I am with Theatre 40. I'm one of the founders of Theatre 40, actually, so many years ago. You know, it's our 51st anniversary, and this wonderful play here, written by Kathy Bates and sponsored and promoted by Theatre 40. I played the housekeeper, Ursula. She's Polish, so I did it with a Polish accent, and I talked to the people, and I'm very happy. I love working for the wonderful family here, and I help raise Sean. He's my baby too, and I was so sorry. Of course, I was happy at the wedding, but sad at the same time.
Yeah, I loved the way the ensemble played, because in a sense the servants were such a big part of the play.
Yes.
It was like they had to be there, and they added so much to it.
Well, the servants are very important, as you might have seen in Downton Abbey, how important the servants were. And so the servants are important here, the housekeeper, which I play, and the mute maid. Isn't that amazing how much she does being mute? And it's such a wonderful show to work in.
Yeah, thank you very much for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with...
Hi, Esther Levy-Richmond. I've been a member of Theatre 40 since 2002. I've done a few plays, and when they had the auditions for this play, when I went to audition, the director assumed I was going to read for the housekeeper. So I said, no, I want to read for the mute maid. I'd never played a mute person before, even though she hears. And it was a tremendous challenge. I've never played an actor with losing one of her senses. So I've had a lot of fun with this role. I really have. And I've written a whole backstory about why I'm mute. It's in my head. It's not on paper. When I was a little girl, my dog got run over, and I stopped speaking at that point. And Mrs. McAllister hired me, and I've been with the family for years and years, and I'm like part of the family. And she knows I'm mute, but I do my job, and I'm very happy, and I love the family like they're my own.
I loved your character, especially during this era where it was a silent movie era.
Yeah.
So I thought you were somewhat like, you know, like say Charlie Chaplin or one of those silent movie characters. So it was kind of interesting to have you as part of the ensemble.
Well, you know what's interesting? I asked Kathy one day, I said, why did you put in a mute? Because the play is a mixture of fact and fiction. She said there was so much dialogue and so much verbal use. She said I needed a little kind of softness, so she wrote in a mute maid. And I've had such a good time. I've been in it for the whole 15 years, and I've really had a ball. I love it.
Once again, I really love the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Carol Potter. I'm going to be playing the role of Marion starting next week.
So what do you think of the ensemble so far? I mean, you're kind of still independent right now. You can still be honest about this. What do you think about their performance tonight?
Wow, I was just blown away. I mean, I've been rehearsing the scenes that I'm in, but I've so many of the other scenes I hadn't even seen before, because a lot of these actors have been doing it for many years. They don't need a lot of rehearsal. So, and the logistics of it, the moving around, going from place to place, it's just kind of magical. Just blew me away.
Yeah, I enjoyed it being an audience member. I enjoyed seeing the wall sconces, seeing the high ceilings.
It's the most stunning environment. These the carvings on the wood and the marble fronting on the fireplace, and these gorgeous floors. I mean, it's just an amazing kind of. Just to be here is really amazing. To think that people actually lived in this. This was their house. It's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I loved it. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. I can't wait to start. I'm very excited.
The Manor will be playing at Greystone Mansion from January 5th to January 29th. For more information, go to www.theater40.org.